In today's day and age, trying to find a firearms weapons manipulation class can almost be a full-time job trying to figure out where to start. We find terminologies out there, and we've used them before. We call our courses basic or advanced or 1 or 2, and we've looked into that, and we found that these course titles can be slightly subjective, because how do you know if you're basic or advanced or intermediate or somewhere in between? And I know that can create a lot of confusion or intimidation on some people. So what we've done is we've created the Disruptive Science weapons manipulation programs here at Haley Strategic, and it's a program that works around you, not the gun. We have the opportunity to study and research the science behind what we do, how we move, how we think. And you may ask, where do we get that information from? Well, we don't just pull from our own experiences in the military and law enforcement and our shooting experiences in the communities. We pull from subject matter experts that we have here on staff. Like kinesiologists, we have sports performance doctors that study biomechanical efficiency. So where we don't give a recipe or a system per se to how to shoot a gun better, get into a position better. We're going to explain how your body needs to work better based on science, not somebody's preconceived pattern or some military or law enforcement program of instruction, which are great, but we're advancing the art of shooting guns nowadays. Just like in the athletic community, professional athletes, they don't just go to practice. They have to understand why they do the things they do, how they move, how they think. We also have psychologists on staff, more of a sports performance type psychologist that study neurofeedback, brain mapping, neuromuscular connectivity. So what does all that mean? Well, that means understanding how our brain works under normal situations or conditions or stressful, life-threatening situations or conditions. So how to think better, how to understand and control your mind and be able to block out distractions. Have a clear focus and know what that really truly means to get into a total focus or a hyper focus. And when we understand those things better, now our body starts to sync with our brain and we shoot better. We also study the cognitive or the instinctual differences between people. So us as instructors, we have to understand who we're talking to, and that's you. So when I come in and give a program of instruction, the last thing I want to do is just give my 2 cents and then have you keep up with it. That's not the way learning works. We have to understand the student population. We have to understand what their instinctual differences are. And once we understand that, and then we share the learning curve with you, the human brain learning curve, we can now give you detailed information based on how you learn in order to achieve your goals. Because we only have sometimes 3 or 6 short days to give all the information in the world. So we find that it's much more conducive in a learning environment to understand the student, you. Who can take a D5 course? Well, that's the cool thing about it is anybody can take it. We've got all walks of life, all occupations. We've got people that consider themselves brand new to the shooting community, but they understand a basic level of firearm safety, which is a requirement for every course you take. And then we've got people that have been doing it for a very long time and very proficient. But what's cool about that is that both of those people can work in this environment and learn about themselves first. So you don't have to worry about what everybody else is doing because you're so focused on your instinctual learning curve, your cognitive mental processing of what you're trying to comprehend and what you're trying to do with a gun. And that's what's great. It's an individual performance-driven course, and that's what's cool about D5. Now, if you find yourself in a handgun course, well, handguns are a wieldable gun, right? It's a little harder to shoot than a carbine, so we really take the time to dial in the fundamentals, a deeper dive to the fundamentals on the handgun. You'll do things such as weapons manipulation. You'll learn about how your eyes work, how your hands work. You'll work on the friction, the leverage concepts instead of somebody's preconceived pattern or some branded grip out there. Carbine courses. Carbine courses can be a little bit different depending on where we are because we may have the opportunity to shoot out of distance. So we really want to understand what the capability of that rifle is. Can we shoot it out to 600 yards with a red dot? So we get an opportunity to do that. Number one, it's a confidence booster. And number two, it's showing you that the bullet never lies. So we take a lot of time in the zero process and understanding that if you don't have a good zero, you don't really have anything. And then of course we get into the speed aspects, the balancing speed and precision, the movements, the weapons manipulation, and so on and so on. The AK courses are unique in D5 because not only do you get the same information that you get in the D5 handgun or carbine, you also get a history lesson about why the AK is appreciated and unappreciated around the world. And so we take that deeper dive with the history combined with the biomechanics and the sports performance of shooting. So the last thing I want you to understand and to be really clear here about how we work and what our methodologies are in D5 is that GPS concept I always use. It's just like the GPS in your car. It's full of a lot of information. And that's why you come to us to get our information and research and our failures and success. So that GPS is given to you in this class environment. But I want you to remember that that GPS, just like in your car, is not attached to the steering wheel. Only you can turn the car. So that's the concept with D5. I'm Travis Haley. Hope to see you out at a course. Stay sharp and be safe.